Elusive Promise, Off-the-Grid FBI Series, Book 4, by Barbara Freethy. Narrated by Amy Mcfadden. 1. The last time Parisa Maxwell had been at a consulate party, she'd been 16, and she'd spent the evening peeking around a heavy, thick curtain, looking at all the beautiful, powerful people sipping champagne and speaking in a half-dozen different languages. That party had been on the other side of the world, at the U.S. Embassy in Kazakhstan, a small country tucked between Nepal and Bangladesh on India's northeastern border. Her stepfather, Harry Drummond, had served as the ambassador to Kazakhstan for almost 3 years, and she'd loved living in the mountainous and mostly peaceful country. While she'd been a teenager, listening to the music and imagining a time where she'd be one of the guests at the party, she'd had no idea of the chaos and terror that would soon follow. Her body tightened at the memory. It had been 15 years, but that night was forever imprinted on her brain. However, there was no reason to be nervous now. This evening was not about world political events, but rather personal ones. The Consul General of Kazakhstan, Raj Kumar, was hosting an engagement party for his daughter Jasmine at the consulate in New York City, which was located in a 3-story building just a block away from Central Park. She'd been a little surprised to get an invitation to the party. Her relationship with the Kumars had ended years ago. She assumed she'd been invited now because of her stepfather's relationship with Raj Kumar, which had continued after they'd left Kazakhstan, and the fact that a very long time ago, Jasmine and her sister Annika had been her classmates and her best friends. She wished her mother and stepfather could have attended the party with her, but they were at a yoga retreat. It was up to her to represent the family, and it wasn't a terrible chore. She was actually looking forward to seeing the Kumars again. Since her assignment in San Francisco had recently ended, she had time for a short vacation, and one that was very much needed. She'd been moving at breakneck speed for years, and she didn't know how to shift into a lower gear, but she might need to find that gear soon, because with each engagement party she attended, she was reminded that her whole life was work, and that might not be the healthiest way to live. She accepted a glass of champagne from a nearby waiter and looked around the crowded foyer. She didn't immediately recognize anyone, but she was only in the outer reception area. The family was probably in the living room. Despite the happy occasion, she still couldn't quite shake the feeling that she needed to be on her toes. She'd spent the last 4 years working as an FBI agent, and she never went anywhere without subconsciously noting every detail. The security at the entrances and exits, anyone who looked out of place, a subtle movement, someone watching, and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?